I'm just zooming in and out on everything.
Oh, okay. You're making another video? You're gonna make us look really funny?
Yeah.
You're gonna do like off the script?
Yeah.
Like funny triple kill video where everyone's like, oh, triple kill's relevant again because they made another funny video.
Welcome to the cribs. Welcome to this crib. This is the triple.
Well, see, my parents around 25 years ago had a fuck.
Triple Kills basically started, me and Anthony were in a band called Black Mayday.
We'd been gigging for like 5 or 6 years, and I kind of reached the point where none of the members were really into it anymore.
Finished that got fucked off.
In the car back from the Black Mayday band practice one day when we were like, this is our last gig coming up sort of thing, I was like, Rodney, man, let's start a band.
We decided, like, me and Anthony were like, oh, we still want to fucking do shit, like make songs and be in band and stuff.
Rodney said yes, and so it's his fault.
So we just jammed along, and we ended up jamming with Chris Brown, old mate from high school.
After we wrote a couple of songs, we thought, okay, now it's time to go and start this band. I'm gonna try and find a drummer, but fuck, I don't know any drummers. So Facebook, here we go. Ask Facebook, and Connor replies.
I had played with Black Mayday a couple of times with my old band Cyanide Teeth.
He had hair then. So then when he rocked up, I was like, who the fuck is this?
When Anthony posted a thing saying, hey, I'm starting a new project with Rodney and myself, we need a drummer, I was like, fuck yeah.
She's the only person who replied, by the way.
So I went and jammed with them once, and then we looked at getting the bassist from Cyanide Teeth, Lucas, involved.
So did Lucas came play bass. Had a thing going, it was pretty good.
Some lineup shifts happened.
Chris decided that he didn't want to show up to practice anymore, so I was like, okay, Chris, if you're not too keen, we'll find somebody who is.
Mackie, we'd been mates with fucking forever.
I picked the guitar up when I was 15, started a high school band with Rods called Moose Lounge, which was like rock. I studied Cert 4 and Advanced Diploma of Music Performance. We started a band out of Advanced Diploma called Ravenous. Fucking shit name. That ended, finished my studies, and then I used to just jam again, back to jamming in my room, trying to get my chops up.
And the first thing I did was inbox Mackie and asked him to come.
Anth contacted me saying they were looking for a guitarist, and I was straight away like fucking oath, because, well, I love Anth and love Rods, and I knew even if it didn't get anywhere, it would just be fun as fuck.
So Lucas decided to leave, and there was the 4 of us, and we're kind of thinking, oh fuck, we need one more member, we need a bass player. And it just so happens that Rodney and I had been blessed with meeting Ethan maybe a year prior to this.
I moved to Melbourne around 2015. I just left the last band I was in, Beast Impaler from Canberra. A friend of mine said, hey, you're a musician, you should check out my friend's band. They're called Black Mayday. As soon as I went to go look up to see when a show was, it was the day after their final show. And they were no longer a band, and I was just like, fuck.
We met through a group called Roo Teeth, like Australian Rooster Teeth, sort of fan thing. So we met him at like fucking meetups and shit.
We found our friendship over anime and really drinking. It was a lot of drinking.
He told us that he played with Glory Hammer in his old band. We're like, what the fuck? Oh shit, that's amazing.
Rodney and I basically looked at each other and uttered the words, Ethan.
And we're like, fuck yeah, get on over here. I think Anthony messaged him.
Proceeded to undress and send him raunchy text messages saying, join the band. And I took a photo of Rodney's ass, and Ethan's like, damn.
Fuck yeah, holy shit. Like a band, fuck, I need it. So I went out, and that's when I met everyone else.
And thus, the current lineup was born. It was, here we are.
So Rodney, besides Triple Kill, is the greatest person in the world. He's just so happy and selfless and just does all the shit that makes him happy.
He's energetic as fuck, passionate about everything he does. Couldn't hurt a fly. I've never seen him be mean to anybody.
I don't think it's in him. I don't think it's in him. He's just too good a dude. He always like errs on the side of kindness, and he's just a fucking good dude.
Like, no matter what you're doing, no matter how shit of a day you've had, you just bring Rodney into the picture and everything is just better.
But a story about Rodney, actually it was another first. We went to Soundwave, which is a festival. It's like, I've never crowd surfed before and I really want to try it. Great man, he's crowd surfing. It was really cool to see. He had a big smile on his face. But the classic thing about Rodney is he just like has this typical quality to always get his ass out somehow. And here he is like crowd surfing and his pants fall down and his ass is sticking out, and some people notice, some people don't. I actually, in slow motion, witness a human being turn around to see Rodney's ass just ruin his absolute fucking day by covering this poor guy's fucking face with Rodney's ass. I still remember that scream. I know the exact note he hit. It was, fuck!
Obviously, we got Anthony. Anthony's a beautiful boy. He's the prettiest human being on the fucking planet.
He's gorgeous, first off.
Every girl I talk to after a show will just be like, man, you guys are great. Is Anthony single?
Anthony's been one of my best mates in fucking like year 9. Met him at Athletics Carnival the very first time. And he was like, oh, don't worry, I'm going to be last. And I was like, no, I'm going to be last.
He's quick to act, quick to email, has one of the best email signatures you could find.
Killer player, super fucking creative. Like some of the riffs he plays test me so fucking much. Fun as to be around. He's super thoughtful. He's always making sure everyone's having a good time.
Without Anthony, this band is... I don't know if this band would have gotten as far forward as we are right now.
Gorgeous and a genuinely good soul. Isn't that fucked? What a cunt.
So I've known Mackie and Rodney the longest. We've been friends through high school.
Mackie, I've known since fucking year 3. My dad used to take us to go fucking tennis coaching together, and we'd listen to fucking Eminem and 50 Cent in the car while waiting for our lesson.
He's great to just have around when you just needed that guy who's going to tell you exactly how it is in 3 words or less.
So, okay, first time I met Mackie, it was the first day we were going to have Mackie come around and kind of jam with us and stuff and see how it went. And Anthony was like, oh, just a heads up, Mackie looks scary, but he's a big teddy bear. And I was like, okay, I mean, I'm 23, goddammit. I won't be scared of him. I got on the couch and he's huge. He's huge and he's all tattooed and like, genuinely intimidating. And I was like, fuck, hi, I'm Connor. And yeah, just genuinely fucking heart of gold, lovely dude.
I always admired his ability to play guitar and stuff like that, and it kind of got me into guitar as well. Without Mackie, we wouldn't sound the way we do, and we wouldn't have practiced so fucking hard and crisply if it wasn't for that guy, because he's so keen on his quality. And
his discipline when it comes to practicing and obviously gym stuff is inspiring and infectious, and a good thing to have kind of in the group.
Ethan, fuck Ethan. No, Ethan's a fucking great dude. He's one of the nicest guys I know.
Film us hardcore dancing.
Is this Miley Cyrus?
Yeah.
Please no.
You got film us hardcore dancing.
You know what this is, kids? This is trash.
Ethan's just equally gorgeous human.
Always full of cool ideas, especially when we're riding. He's always the one who's like, yeah, what if we should do this or try this with that? He's really creative.
I love it because I think he's got the most eclectic musical taste. He listens to fucking everything.
he just knows what makes Ethan happy, and that's something that I've always really admired about Ethan. He just goes and he wears those crazy colourful shirts because he thinks they're fun. He has the wildest taste in music because it's fun. Everything that he kind of wants to do is about having a good time or making sure our crowd has a good time.
I love that he's tall and he's cuddly.
Connor, hey, I like your car. Thank you. I got a Kylo Ren Hot Wheels.
Down there.
Yeah, let's go.
Isn't it?
So grab it before. Yeah.
Isn't it incredibly suspicious that you are buying a car of a Dark Lord?
I don't know what you.
When I first met Connor, I thought, man, this guy's funny and wild, and I saw that he did his own like little videos on the internet, and I was always like, oh, one day I want to be a part of one of those funny little videos.
Cons, oh, fucking cons. Well,
It's cool to like actually get to know him and talk to him, and now he's like one of my best mates as well.
he's always 110%. He's one of the nicest blokes I've ever met. Some of the shit he says fucks me up.
What's your favourite Kylo Ren line? My favourite Kylo Ren line is when he goes... Alright, hang on. Hey, Rodney. Don't you think that's really suspicious that that's his favourite Kylo Ren line? That's a bit of trick. No, he's on this.
I don't know how to describe it, but he's got the most creatively stupid situational comedy idea brain I've ever seen in my life, and it's hilarious. But the thing that makes me really gel with Connor is that he's a doer.
Just all our promo videos, all our music videos, anything we do in front of a camera is been written by Connor. It's edited by Connor. He directs the whole thing. He gets everyone together.
A lot of Triple Kill's success is completely attributed to Connor and him being a doer. So yeah.
Fuck.
Dude,
See, that's not normal. That's probably somebody in a Force user.
I'm 25. I bought this with the money that I earned from my full-time job. I'm a grown-ass man. Hey, hang on. He just said he's an ass man. He just said he's an ass man. He's a grown ass man.
I think he's an ass man.
Once we had that, we started, writing a couple more songs together and getting stuff sorted. We were like, okay, let's do this. Let's hit the ground running, sort of thing.
Whenever a new band starts, you kind of like, oh, hi, I'm in a new band. Hi, there's all these new members. Do you know any of us? That's great. Go like our page on Facebook, and it's kind of awkward.
Trying to get gigs, like nobody's heard anything. You don't have demos, and you're just like, hey, can we play? And they're like, who the fuck are you?
We were thinking about ways that we could avoid that and completely hit and miss that.
We were meant to announce the Facebook later than when we did because it went up with all of us 5 in it, and I just fucking grabbed my phone and was like, started inviting dudes, and they were like, oh, fuck it, I guess it's live now.
It's up there now. We have to have something to show for ourselves, even if it's something daggy.
Let's get a video out now. Let's just tell people who we are, what we're doing, and the fact that we triple kill.
I was like, fuck yeah, all right, yeah, let's do it. So I wrote up a fucking script.
And that was when the first video came out.
I don't know, I think it set the tone for us pretty well.
It also set the half of our audience to believe that we're not a real band.
People thought it was funny and stuff, which was really encouraging, and like, oh cool, well maybe we'll do more of this. Apparently we've done a lot more of it.
Look what you've done.
Because of all that, like, all of that, it was like as soon as we like started, like came out, people were like, oh damn.
See this? See what you've done? Ruined fucking man day, you fucking Joey Wheeler. Man, fucking.
So we decided to record Blades as our first single just because it was kind of, I don't know, anthemic and sing-along kind of vibe.
So we're like, shit, okay, let's go record this song and, show people it's professional. So we banked it ourselves, bankrolled that shit, and went to Chris the Malco, which, fuck, that was rad.
And through that, we got to meet Chris the Malco.
Like, it was surreal, like, going in to record it, because like I obviously knew of Orpheus Omega and stuff, and Chris, and it was just like, what? We've barely done anything. We're gonna record with Chris the Malco.
I didn't know that he existed at first, and I got on my phone and started looking up who he was and the band he was in, and I was just like, oh shit, I fucked up.
We lovingly dubbed him Senpai.
I'm not an anime character, so I can't do the hard eyes thing. But you can imagine me with hard eyes. Like, Connor could probably put an anime character on my face right now in the video.
He was excited to meet him. We met him. He was super nice. Always had a laugh. We had heaps in common, whether it was like music, anime.
He became senpai for me when I made one little reference about Legend of Zelda, which is my favorite game, to then him showing me his bedroom when he has, like, the wall is covered in Legend of Zelda stuff, whether it be the Hylian shield or just posters and whatnot. And I was just like, right, so this is the greatest guy who ever lived. I'll just follow him until the ends of the earth.
Working with Chris was fantastic.
He made the whole process so much less, daunting. Like, By the end of it, I was like, all right, I trust this dude just implicitly. He knows his shit. He's fucking lovely. He's a laugh. Let's work with him forever.
Yeah, but I think the most satisfying part of that whole process was when Chris Somelko actually like turns around in his chair like, what are these lyrics about? And we're kind of like, Beyblades.
And then we thought, all right, fuck it, let's do a music video.
It was just like we were going to invite all our friends out and we were going to have this amazing time.
Ideally, we'd get to shoot something with like a bunch of people and kind of headbanging and stuff, and that'd be great. But if not, we could just use whoever shows up as like the Beyblade kind of, henchman or whatever.
So I invited as many as I could, and none showed up.
All of my friends showed up, thankfully. I have the best friends, apparently.
Got all these extras to show up in my parents' garage, and I'm getting nervous because my parents didn't really know. I was kind of just filming shit in their garage, and we were shouting in front of the neighbors and swearing and throwing a whippersnipper in the garden and
You, me, person.
So my mate Chris and our mate Lisa ended up helping out for the day, being extra camera people and stuff, and we had Bree, who also designed our logo. Shouts out, Bree, thanks.
And it took forever to record because we just couldn't keep a straight face.
Sorry, I gotta not make eye contact with you people. You people! That's what I call a fedora!
Eat 'em, Agadix, mate! Fucking eat 'em!
Perfect!
No, Rodney, come on, please, Dals. No, don't. I love you. Come on, give us a kiss. Mackie, you give us a kiss. Oh, fucking someone give me a kiss! Sorry. What the fuck, He's your dad now. Yeah, right. Oh, we're gonna win it! We're gonna win this shit! Yeah, fuck you, Mum! Alright, come on, fuck him up! We'll fuck him up! Anthony's a shit cunt. Take 2.
Can we get a different Beyblade?
No.
I'm calling prop fault.
Let's agree on what you guys are gonna do. So you both.
And you paper.
Yeah, rock then paper.
When we were pouring the blood down Connor's head, he couldn't see a fucking thing, screaming out.
Pull blood away! Ah! Fuck! Tastes so good. Oh, it burns now. All right, that's it.
We made the grossest thing that took forever to clean off.
Yeah, who wants to lick off my forehead?
Has to be one of the band members.
Do you know how hard this is to wash off? Just a heads up.
Thank you, Ethan.
I was definitely not expecting that from our very first sort of big music video song that came out.
As I was about to say this, I realised there's no real surprise. People responded really well to the word cunt. Australians.
That's the main reason I love doing the videos and stuff like that. Is just I love people's reactions and just how much fun they have from it all.
And it got the attention of some other bands in Melbourne. I think definitely that video is what got us a lot of the shows we have now.
So that was kind of at the end of 2016.
the first show was really nerve-wracking, especially because it was one that we were running.
First gig, let's do it. Let's fucking do this and see if people actually show up, or if they're like, these guys are a fucking joke. Well, get out of here, you schmucks.
Ironic meme-loving fuckery fest 17. Yeah, 17. It's like 2017, not the 17th one. We've only done one of those.
That was a hard one to hand flyers out for, because not a lot of businesses want the word fuck on their windows.
I was really fucking nervous. I was almost shaking.
I thought it was going to be stressful and got to keep a track of time, make sure that enough people showed up, and it went pretty well.
That was such a fun show. Just like for our very first show, this debut show, it was such a big fucking turnout.
We got about 2 songs in and my nerves just went, and I was just like, yeah, this is fucking what I was born to do. And
First bloody show, and there were already people singing along to Blades, which was like, huh, nice.
That changes your life every single time you see that shit. Like, I don't know. There's probably not much better feelings than seeing somebody sing something that you wrote back at you, kind of thing.
So much fun playing our first show, showing people like, hey, this is who we are. Fucking, yeah.
Off the back of that, we got contacted by Carl from Saralisi in Canberra to play a show in Canberra, play a show interstate, and we're like, fuck. So our second show was in Canberra.
The fact that other people were saying, oh, I want Triple Kill on this lineup in the first place was really fucking heartwarming to us.
Going on a road trip with everyone was such an experience, to say the least.
I was going to say tour, but it's a show. This one show is going to ruin us.
Yeah. This is like the most expensive show ever, bro.
Yeah.
This is how Triple Kill dies.
a combination of Rod's basically doing the whole thing and having extreme fatigue and being fucked. Bees getting in the car and Connor punching them so we wouldn't get stung.
Let me fucking tell you something.
The one stop at what was just a public bathroom that was an outhouse.
I am dying for a shit. Mackie's dying for a piss, so we go under this toilet, but it's a drop toilet, which means you just shit in the hole essentially, and then some vagrant comes and eats it later. So it's kind of good for the community. But I need to do a poo, and it's probably going to be nightmarish in there, so we're going to go inspect it and see how we go.
I would consider this a ploppumentary. Rest in peace, Ethan. God bless.
I've already done that. Whoa, fuck. Outback toilets are one of Ethan's triggers, so this is really funny.
Oh, dude. Oh, Christ. Yeah, that's My name's Rodney. Welcome to Jackass.
My experience of that road trip was Mackie fucking farting all the goddamn time, and all of us just basically suffocating the whole way up. Me freaking out about this fucking police thing.
Oh my God, though, after the show, we were driving back and Mackie was driving.
I'm driving the speed limit, nothing's going wrong, but I wasn't insured to drive the car. It was only Rods and Ant, because I didn't come when they picked it up. And I was like, it's just 10 minutes back to the hotel room, we'll be fine.
We start driving and we see flashing lights behind us. And Anthony immediately's like, oh my God, Mackie, pull over. And Mackie's like, no, it's an ambo, fucking, you can go around.
And he's sitting behind me, binging the lights, and I'm thinking, fuck, go around, man, what are you doing? Fucking people dying. And I'm driving, and then I realise, once he gets closer up my ass, it's a fucking cop.
And we're like, oh fuck, and Maggie pulls over and just is really polite and nice with the dude, and the dude was like, oh, did you guys play a show? And we're like, yeah. Anthony's sitting there just like, ah.
Gave me a breath though, checked me licence, nothing bad happened, but yeah, fucking poor Anth had a heart attack.
We made our own fun in the hotel room. There's not a lot to do in Canberra, so we goofed, we gaffed. It was great fun.
Oh, sorry.
And then the show at the basement, I was a little nervous personally because my old band were going to be playing as well.
It was also really strange playing like a foreign place to people that we couldn't pull into the gig. Like we couldn't just say to our mates, hey, you should come see the show, because I don't know anybody who lives in fucking Canberra. Well, I do now, but I didn't at the time.
We got a new friend. We've made a new friend.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Cheers, fellas.
His name's Cheney and he's a very nice boy.
I was hoping we had a good crowd because it's our second gig, and I'm thinking going up there, not many people are going to know of us. We ended up having a really decent crowd.
I think it was really nice too, watching a crowd of complete strangers standing around the bar, not paying any attention, just immediately click and go fuck yes, and just like join the first few rows of people.
They all, like, there was just nothing but positive things to say from everyone. A couple of my family members came out and said it was a really good time. They were really happy to see me happy. And then Mackie got hit on by a couple of MILFs, and it was great.
No, it's really good bonding experience and really fun. And I feel like that really, like, made us closer. Like, yeah, got us closer than we were before, which is probably helped a lot with like future songs and like hanging out and like everything really.
Oh, I had a great night. That's good. Sore, and that's a sign of a good time.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh yes.
Mackie, how are you feeling about the whole thing?
Fucking killed it, mate.
And there was people who came.
Yeah.
And Connor was there.
Yeah, correct.
Once.
Correct.
Hashing food, 25 for $5.
That's a bag.
Free range eggs, 30 for $10. Fabulous pigs, $7 a minute. Everybody loves a bag. Organic pig lady apples, $7 for 2 kilos. 2016, next week does a lot of nectarine. Lovely, thank you very much.
And then came time to record the first cut.
Hey.
Fuck off. Oh, Rodney. Are you trying to seduce me, Mr. Cooligan?
In Beast Impaler, we only had a demo that was out that we just kind of recorded, that Tim had recorded. But so this was the first real release I was going to be having. And so I was just shitting myself.
How about we go up to there a few times?
Every single time we go to put something out, I fear that there's going to be somebody who's like, oh, it's fucking shit. But I only fear that for like the 2 weeks prior to actually even recording it.
Because coming off of just like having the single just Blades in the music video, there was that sort of like, oh, I hope people, like I was like, I hope that wasn't just a one-hit wonder type deal and everyone's going to be like, oh.
My hopes were that it would be as successful as Blades, that people would like the diversity of the tunes.
I don't remember having any like specific hopes of like, oh, it's got to do this or that or whatever. I was just excited to have an EP because it was clear that through Blades people liked that and people wanted to hear more of it. So I was just excited to give them more of it. And because we only had one song out prior to that, there was no fear of like, oh, what if they don't like this stuff? Because I was like, you had one song that's not enough to base this on. You know, here's more of that to kind of pick from. Hope you dig it. You know, so I guess hoping it reached a wider audience just through having more of it.
It's all good. It's still good. What you doing, Ethan? What are you doing? What are you, Ethan, a grown man, about to do?
Lick it.
Lick it. Lick that shit.
Don't be a bitch. Yeah.
Oh, fuck! God, why?
My other fear was just personally, not the other guys, that the lead stuff and some of the riffs that I'd done, I hoped that people wouldn't hear them and go, oh yeah, that's really mediocre and shit. And
I had a couple of people that were just like, you know, this song's not for me, or, you know, there was one song that wasn't theirs that another song was. And so it was just everyone had something they liked about this EP, and that was what was great.
Initially we wanted to put out, we were thinking of putting out Infinity Gate for the music video, for the single and stuff. I had an idea for that, but it was just, the scope of it was just a little bit out of reach.
Swarm, again, Swarm's being about Gears of War, we were like, well, how do we make this into a music video? To which I jokingly had an idea of being like, let's be the band who has the first Let's Play music video. And like, I was joking. I didn't mean it.
Yeah, so Connor basically pitched the video as like, we're gonna get drunk and play Gears of War, and everybody at the same time just, fuck yeah. Like, you know.
Starting scene with the perms, and this whole like comedic skit, I just didn't know what was going on, but I was just going with it.
Connor kind of switched it around, and I was the one saying all the smarty pants lines, because usually I was the quiet one. Sounds mad.
Oh my god! I reckon you could probably do it like slower, like just to make sure that you get it.
The best part was actually playing Gears of War and getting drunk, because we actually did it. We set up like a full-scale LAN party in the garage, and for a solid hour, we played an hour straight of Horde, where every single headshot you would get, you would drink. If you died, you drink. If the wave ended, you drink. If the wave failed, you drink. Like, you would just fucking drink all the time.
Because Mackie's a fuck who just decided, you know, like, I'm gonna be good at Gears of War and fucking make up. I think Connor came up with the rule, actually, now I think about it. Yeah, every headshot. And then Mackie's like, all right. And we're just like,
no, thank you. And yeah, we needed to go outside and have a bit of a cheeky vomit because of the pure amount of shithouse Australian cider we consumed that day.
And the end bit was probably my favourite. I was in tears when Anth, Connor, and I think Rods were on the grass throwing up.
The end isn't my favourite bit. Just gonna put it out there.
Like, my end game, because I was like, we need a way for this to escalate and end. Someone has to vomit. I will vomit if I have to. I will take that. I'll take a vom bullet for you guys, okay?
Connor's got this really funny, like, personality trait of understanding when something makes people laugh, but it's like something weird. Fucking Mackie was finding it hilarious that Connor was vomiting, or like trying to vomit, and he was like, "Oh, it's gonna get in your beard, bro," or whatever, and yeah, Connor was basically like, yeah, watch me.
Connor grabbing the vomit-covered fucking beard and just giving it a good old lick.
Did you lick it? Yeah. That's fucking gross. I'll do it again.
Yeah, I disgust myself even. Like, watching that footage back, it's fucking heinous.
I get sick every time I watch it because it's just watching two of my closest friends vomiting everywhere.
Yeah, I think like when I flash back to that, like it's like it was darkness. It was in a dark fucking backyard, and we're all crouching over, and all I could hear is Ethan retching, just because he was watching Connor. I'm like, what's Ethan doing? And I look at Connor, and I'm retching now, and Connor's just fucking laughing, like maniacally.
Okay, now, quick aside, at the time that the EP came out, we, oh man, I'm ashamed to tell this story. So, Chris was in China, touring with Insomnium. Big tour, great, so excited for him. So I got the instrumental tracks from Chris a while back, and I made a mashup of Swarm. I sent it to Chris while he was in China with the message saying, "Hey man, really sorry, but there's a problem with this master you sent us. Listen to about this point and let me know what you hear." And it was like 20 seconds into the song, you hear "oh wow," and then fucking, you know, it's Down with the Sickness and then a bunch of other shit, and it was supposed to be funny. It was a joke. I didn't hear back from him for a while, and I was getting more and more nervous, and I was like, I mean, it's fine, like, it's just listen to it when you get a chance, man, it's fine. And he finally messaged back saying like, "Hey man, sorry, just trying to sort some stuff, really sorry, we'll listen when I get a chance." And I was like, okay. So I messaged Chris saying, "Hey man, it was a goof, don't stress, like, I made a mashup thing." And he messaged back saying, "Oh, no worries." I found out later that night that the show that they were meant to be playing with Insomnium got cancelled, and they were like held by like customs or some shit, or like police. But basically he was having the shittest time ever. So that's probably the worst thing I've ever done to another human being. I still feel bad about that to this day.
After we did our first few shows, we had quite a bit of gigs coming through. I think when we had like 3 gigs in a month, which is like...
We dubbed it Triple Cocktober, and we did, I think it was Ethan actually, suggested getting little like loyalty cards. Come along to the gig, come along to 2 of these gigs and you get a free patch. Come along to all 3 and you're a legend. And we ticked each box by putting a letter in there, and if you came to all 3, it said poo.
There's a few fucking Valhalla shows that we played where there was so many people to see both us and Valhalla that the crowds were just fucking nuts.
And that was right up until the end of the year. That was just like, it was a gig pretty much nearly every month.
One of them would have been Legions of Steel. I was really psyched that we got asked to play on that because we were so fresh in the scene. And I think we did a really good job opening it. We got told we did, got the crowd hyped. One of my favourite bits of that was playing Deadly Sinners with Dunksy on stage because I love Dunksy.
Played a pretty cool Halloween show where we all dressed up in different costumes. Mackie was like some skeleton dude. I was like Casey Jones. Rodney was Mankind, and probably the best fucking costume I've seen. Ethan was Hannibal Lecter. Fucking Connor, dude. He's a Ghost fan. He wanted to go as Papa Emeritus or whatever, so he like paints his face and shit like that, and has this cool idea for a costume, and we're kind of like, yeah, that's a rad costume. It's pretty cool. But Connor, I don't think it was funny enough for Connor, so he went up to fucking Savers and bought a deviled egg costume. He put that on with the Papa Emeritus face paint and became Papa Egg Emeritus. There's this really fucking photo of him playing drums with his hands up, and he's like looking serious as shit, and he's got the face paint, but he's also wearing an egg.
So I'm not from a metal background at first. I grew up listening to metal, but my social life was at Bang when I first moved to Melbourne. It was my place I went to every Saturday, and I didn't think it would ever happen. And they were doing a competition for a battle of the bands, and I was jokingly just like, hey, we should enter.
We were like, hi, we're Triple Kill, we'd like to enter into the competition. And all of a fucking sudden, it was like 251 people voted for us in like 2 days. Like, making us win significantly. We won the competition to play at a nightclub full of Green Day fans.
The weird novelty of playing at Bang, people just fucking pingers and shit and get fucking fucked up, and then we're just gonna play some metal on this dodgy ass metal frame fucking chuck a plank of wood down and hope you don't fall through it stage.
So we had a great fucking time. We sold a bunch of merch, we met a bunch of people we'll probably never meet again, until one day Lydia Greenwood sends us an email and she says, why don't you come back to Bang and we'll do a metal night.
So we gave them a list of bands, and what they came back with was getting Primitive, Harlot, and Orpheus Omega to play at Bang with us.
Never thought it would really happen, but I always wanted to play with Orpheus, especially after recording with Chris. I was just like, fuck, that would be sick.
Let me tell you, it was just a fucking wild night.
People are dressed up. There's black metal Santa to go take pictures with. Everyone's just getting smashed and having a good time.
I get inside and I'm about to start doing the rounds. Chris comes up to me and he's dressed as Jack Skellington and slightly pissed, and he's like, you sticking around? And I was like, I was thinking about it. He's like, fuck yes you are. That was so awesome. I was seeing fucking Avril Lavigne with these people. It was nuts.
It's hard to pick just one gig because all of them were, were always fun. Every time we've played, we've had good feedback. We've made new mates with bands, and there's always like special things of every time you gig that come up.
What's that? Is it a trampoline?
What?
Is that a trampoline?
Come on, Connor. I'll show you. Look at it.
Oh, fuck! Holy shit! Oh, wow.
It looks, so you look at it and you're like, oh, it's a sewer grate. And then
That's a sewer grate.
Oh, fuck!
Yeah.
This isn't what happens whenever I jump on sewer grates.
Yeah, your natural instinct to jump into a sewer grate.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking slam, you'll bring in the moves. You're in the club now.
I'm in the club.
You're a frizz boy.
I'm a frizz boy.
You're also a frizz boy. Like it or not.
What are you doing?
No, you're a trampo lunatic. You went on the trampoline.
Yeah.
Just want this to be documented for the rest
Yeah,
of
okay.
our lives.
Mackie got the greatest thing ever.
Connor's
secretly a fucking proud mum. And I just want to prove that to everyone. So as you can see here, he's quietly waiting. So who knows what for. Look at that crisscross on the fucking... It's meant to be, mate.
Like fucking Ash and Sakura, I hope you're watching this. Sakura bought us, I hope I'm saying that right too. She made us like homemade biscuits and brought them to the Bendigo Hotel for us to enjoy. And that was the sweetest fucking thing ever. Like, that's fucking unreal.
We got to play at so many different venues around Melbourne and Canberra. And I would just kind of, the year ended going, cool, what's next?
I don't know, I was eager. I finished the year eager.
So we thought, if we can release an album before even or around the time that our EP's only been out for a year.
You jokingly said June and kind of locked it in. And told the guys like, hey, locked in June with Chris the Malco for recording an album. And I think at this time we had maybe 2 songs. So everybody was like, fuck. Traditional human being, we were like, for the first 3 months, nah, who gives a fuck, it's fine. And then for every other month, we were just like, oh, what the fuck? We've got little to no time to write all these songs.
I think it was more ambitious or more potentially stupid in terms of timing than we thought it was initially.
The writing for the album was definitely different to what we had with the EP. We all still had the same motion of we'd come in and we'd show each other, you know, what we've got as ideas and things. But there was a lot of, with the EP was we showed something and we built on it. Whereas for the album, it was we showed something and we worked if it was going to be useful or not.
Every spare minute all of us had, we knew that it just had to go towards writing and thinking and conjuring up ideas for the songs.
Coming up with lots of ideas and sharing things and showing people and going to each other's houses, getting in groups of 2, getting in groups of 3 kind of thing, just like over and over again, sometimes 2 or 3 times a week.
The first time I'd ever seen the closest thing to an argument we'd ever had. And I say it's the closest thing to an argument because it wasn't really an argument. We were all just kind of tired and exhausted. And we were all just angry at ourselves, not at each other. So everything we were kind of disagreeing with was only by our own decisions.
Tensions were just running high because we were all we wanted this to be good, you know, and we wanted this to be everything that it could be, and we were just worried we weren't going to get it done, you know. It was just this worry that kind of plagued the band, I think, for a few weeks.
But at the same time, it was good because it showed that as a group, we can all work really hard under pressure and deliver the goods.
Showing the demos to Chris and having him go, yeah, this is a really solid bass, we're going to have something really good out of this, and in terms of the content, it's more aggressive, more interesting, and more cohesive than the EP. That was a real shot in the arm in terms of our confidence. Chris straight up won't let you release an album that's shit, you know, because his name's on it as well.
Jonas. Ooh. Jonas. Ooh. Mackie likes to talk shit about my Jonas, but I think he's just jealous of my fashion sense. It's day 1 of guitar tracking.
No, Asia Rebellion we did for a while. Like we played live and stuff before we recorded it. It was really cool lyrics-wise because Anthony had like sort of Star Wars knowledge and like sort of lyrics that he'd sent to me.
We were just writing a song at the time. It was a fast song, had a cool chorus. We didn't really know what it was going to be about. I had the dumb idea to make it about Star Wars just because at the time I was fucking playing a shitload of X-Wing. And I tried to write a lyric about one of the characters, but I suck at writing lyrics. But Rodney really liked the lyric and he finished it off for me, so.
It doesn't involve any Star Wars quotes, nothing about Rebel Scum. Anthony's kind of, I guess, love letter to Star Wars. He's a big Star Wars nerd.
People in the Empire are just kind of doing their job, and their job is to face a rebellion of people who are good people, and it's sort of like such a weird role to have.
Stop rebelling. Stop that. He's like, nah, big black guy's running the show. You can't have that. Fucking, yeah. We're not putting that in.
I'm putting that in.
Lords, that slow riff at the start with the slide, every time we play that, it's just tough as fuck.
Kind of had like this weird stabby sound idea, which is the opening of Lords of Cinder, and Connor was like, oh dude, that's in 3/4, that's fucking sick, we should keep doing that. And like, I didn't even notice. I was like, oh yeah, 3/4, I totally meant that.
This would be a cool sort of like Dark Souls-y sort of tune. So came up, just like looked up the lore, like already sort of knew it because of the games, and then like made a vague sort of like story for the song around that.
Decay is just fucked.
Cool, so fuck the start riff of that song.
Where are my glasses? I can't see without my glasses. And just did the start of Decay because we wanted to get a bit that I was going to struggle with kind of out of the way. And that is a bit that I struggled with because there's fucking murder on my wrists.
Mackie and Ethan, I think, came up with it initially, and then Anthony and those two knocked it around into the form it is now.
And we were like, great, we've got a Lamb of God song, and it's gonna be like, it's gonna be killer, and everyone's gonna love it. So we show it, and everyone hated it.
It was almost finished, and then they showed it to me, and I was like, okay, what flair is this missing? And I just kind of went through and like added some flares to it. And
We, with the second verse, I think Connor was like, hey, I want to kind of do it like this sort of style thing. And that sort of, with the help of Chris, came up with like some weird singing style, which I hadn't done before.
Hello. Welcome to the singing cubby.
Nice, dude. That sounds fucking mint.
But it's like really cool, just like knowing that I can do that somehow.
We were all kind of watching My Hero Academia at the time. It's an anime, a bunch of fucking weebs. And Decay is the name of the power of one of the bad guys in My Hero Academia. So we made the lyrics about the League of Villains. I feel like such a fucking nerd talking about this.
I like love that show and like all of the story and stuff behind it. So having a song about that and like singing that is just a lot of fun to do.
So I tried to make it kind of vague and just kind of like fists in the air, kind of anti something, you know.
I don't really know what else to say other than fuck the star riff. It's so hard.
Fear the Old Blood is just non-stop chaos, the whole fucking song, especially for Connor. Some of the riffs in that are so much fun, especially the like death metal-y riff in the second verse. I love that so much, just this big fucking stomp feeling.
Bloodborne inspired lyrically, which is probably pretty obvious. It's a bit on the nose, but fuck it.
I love that game. And it's like Dark Souls where just the story is so convoluted and crazy and awesome that it's just like, fuck yes.
Connor started it on drums and then worked with myself and then Mackie.
He first showed us a couple of the riffs and he showed us the chorus, and I just remember sitting there thinking, this isn't a metal riff, this is a hardcore riff. He made something like Miss May I style, and I'm gonna tell him that. And I don't think I've ever seen Mackie wanna beat me up more than when I told him it's a Miss May I riff.
He was about to get triple kill. Australians,
Forward Unto Hell. Oh boy. Well, first of all, that one we used to call Titan.
Maybe it's about Attack on Titan, I don't know. Shut up.
At the time I was reading the manga, and there's a particular scene, a particular battle that is fucking sick. Hasn't happened in the anime yet, but it's fucking gonna soon, so keep an eye out.
It makes it so that it doesn't necessarily have to or directly reference Attack on Titan at all, but it's still like you know where it's drawn from.
I think of all the songs it has the most character.
Really fun to play because it just changes constantly, so it always keeps you on your feet.
That's just like a crash course in Kamain riffage. I love it.
Doomstar Requiem, there's a scene where the two guitarists like duel and like there's a Pounded Wigs scene where they're like playing guitar and they're all posh and shit, and I was like, oh, I want to write a riff like that. I think it'd be really funny. And so I kind of like wrote a song around that riff just so I could put it in somewhere.
And so Anthony had these pretty like challenging riffs, and I remember as we're going through it, my hand would start to cramp up a bit because it was just for the bass to follow the guitars was a bit too much. And that was when I realized I needed to start changing my play style to a more comfort zone so I could do something challenging that wasn't going to rip my wrist apart, because it's sure as hell what it felt like.
It's fucking like hectic as.
Do it.
You fear your deaths are meaningless! Would you say the same of your fallen comrades? Mankind will remember you, and your hope shall be eternal!
Rana was basically listening to a fuckload of Swedish Pagans by Sabaton. Swedish Pagans. Da, 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 da. Anyway.
I'm obsessed with Vikings in the way that I don't know much about it. I don't know the history behind it, but I love the imagery and just the idea of them. And I just think they're cool as fuck.
All about like Norse mythology. And
Anth just comes in with these fucking riffs.
I had like all the rhythm guitars written out and stuff like that, and we kind of knew the direction that kind of wanted to go. Mackie was like, oh, I want triplets and all this like sort of power metal stuff, so you know, we smashed that out. And I don't know, it still kind of needed more to it, so I went home and I listened to the song over and over again. I can't sing as well, so I was trying to come up with vocal melodies but on my guitar. And I sent it to the guys and I was like, hey, this is a vocal melodies. And they were kind of like, that's great leads. I'm like, fuck, cool. And then Connor was like, oh, by the way, here's my idea for vocal melodies. And it was like, yes, where was that before?
And then you've just got the bass, which is just kind of just sitting there like you're playing Banjo-Kazooie, and it's just kind of bouncing the whole time.
It's so epic, it gives me goosebumps every time I hear it because of the singing, and the riffs complement the singing so well.
Under her. It feels so adventurous and fun, especially when like it's going to be, I reckon it's going to be one of my favorite songs to play live because of the like crowd interaction that can happen with that, especially at the end.
Gonna be good.
Nice.
It's literally the first thing I ever bought with my first ever paycheck from my first ever job.
Nice.
I still haven't. Have a sword, Rodney.
Oh, fuck yes.
How you doing? We're about to sing some lyrics for a song. We're good. I got my sword, I got my aviators.
Hang on.
It's gonna be a good time. Drowned are we all, as written by fate, but the god is so cruel and the cold sea spray. Tenacious the spirit of man may prove, but the waves all will be undone.
That may actually be one of the best takes you've done.
It was the sword. It was definitely the sword.
The Alchemist.
Fucking oath. That's so cool.
I said to Anth I wanted to write a power metal song because I'd never really delved into that world before, and we sat down together and just nutted out all these riffs, and it literally was like a day. It took us to write a day or maybe 2 days, where we would just bouncing riffs off each other, and they were so good that they were like fucking done, tick that off.
They sent it to the group and just like, hey, here's all some fucking what?
The thing I love about the Alchemist the most is how impressive Rodney was writing this.
It was the one sort of song where like I was able to just sit down and like churn out a fat chunk of lyrics. That sounds dirty. Churn out a fat chunk.
This one, Rodney just sends us a fucking audio clip of like just him singing the first 2 verses, and I'm pretty sure Connor and I on the same place on the different points of the city just like flooded everywhere with cum, and the police were like, fuck, we've got 2 separate calls for cum floods, what do we do? And they showed up to both the houses and used their cum vacuums and clean up all the cum flood.
Thank you.
When we first recorded just on a phone or something, I remember going home and then playing it while having the My Hero Academia theme on. And it lined up so well, and I sent it to the boys and they were all just kind of like,
The only bit that took a bit longer was the chorus, which me and Connor just sat down for, going over all these phrases and stuff.
It's just the chorus on its own instrumentally sounded so huge that we wanted to write something that would do it justice.
We need to have a proper fitting chorus that'll make people just fucking come.
So we ended up sitting together and just like working on that one chorus for like an hour or 2 hours straight, just like trying different stuff, different melodies and stuff. And when we finally settled on that one, we were just like, fuck, this is awesome.
Like how can I turn this darkness into gold kind of thing is a little bit like, it's kind of like, I don't know, I think a lot of people in life will relate to that. Like life kind of gives you shit, how can you make the best out of it kind of thing.
I'm pretty sure that's all the vocals for this song.
And so on and so forth. Slams.
Tears was the one that took me about a year to write, because I kept second guessing myself because I wanted to write a really good thrash-esque song.
It was just like, I want to have a big thrashy song on the album. We're like, fuck yeah, that sounds great. So we kind of sat with him and tweaked some riffs to, again, be a bit more us.
It took a bit to learn. There are still parts where if it wasn't for me picking up a guitar and trying to learn the guitar bits, I don't think I'd be able to play the bass parts.
When you're doing something, you've got tunnel vision, so the guys really helped me pick it apart and consolidate it when I finally was on top of things. And the group effort of it just made it a fucking tough song, and it's really fun to play.
It's also the one song on the album too where Rodney's vocals come in and I'm like, who the fuck is this? Who is singing? This is so fucking good.
It's fucking, you can tell it's Mackie because it's fucking brutal as all hell. You look at the lyrics and be like, yeah.
And pretty much as soon as we worked out how that song ended, we were like, that's the last track. That's the last track on the album. This is gonna end heavy as fuck.
Here's a triple kill song where we're giving you 2 verses, 2 choruses, and then that's it. You're gonna listen to fucking Mackie blow your brains out for the rest of the song.
That was pretty good up until that.
Yeah. Hey Chris.
How are you?
Good, how are you? Where are you?
I'm good. I'm in here.
Oh, you're in here. Oh, hello. You got a hidey hole.
He gets a little cubby. It's honestly just like I have to look at Rodney. Like I just can't be fucked sometimes, but he thinks it's to help with the vocals.
It's understandable.
So we don't tell him.
No.
Same fear as EP, I guess, is just like I'm sort of nervous and anxious about the reception.
Feared that no matter what we could do, it was gonna sound like shit. But that was for 2 weeks prior to recording it. For that whole 2 weeks, like getting really stressed about it. And then as soon as we touched the studio, like the Chris Melko's soothing voice is like, oh, my friend, everything will be okay. And waves his wizard hand and suddenly like mushrooms grow on our shoulders and I don't know, I'm just making shit up.
Whenever things are going too well, my brain will just go, what if you died though? So in the lead up to recording, in the lead up to tracking drums, my biggest worry wasn't like, will I be able to play my parts right? I knew the songs. Will these songs be good? Of course they will. Chris won't let us release a shit album. My worry was, what if your legs fall off? What if you fucking die? What if you die? What if one of your loved ones dies? What if one of the band members dies? What if Chris dies? What if something fucking horrible happens in the lead up to this recording?
It may not be anyone's cup of tea and everyone's gonna hate it and we're gonna get destroyed by everyone. People are just gonna shit on me and they're gonna call me fat because that's all I've done is this recording of the album was just gain weight.
Sweet, that covers that.
I'm sorry, was there a question about me being fat?
This is a fucking massive life goal, like probably of all of ours. Like writing and releasing an album is huge to us.
It was no longer, I just wanted a couple people to listen to it. This is an album that I want everyone to hear. I want to send it off to places like into other countries and just be like, listen to this shit.
My biggest hope for the album, you know, post recording was just, I just want people to hear it. I want people to be as excited about this shit as we are.
Talk to new people at gigs, see new people at gigs. I hope that for a lot of the songs that people will like them enough to like learn parts or like of the lyrics or like listen to enough that they can just sing along and have fun at shows. Just going up on stage, having fun and just seeing other people having fun and singing lyrics back to me is It's just fantastic. So I'm hoping that's probably my biggest hope.
I would have never thought already in this stage we, would get it happening, get some of these things going on, but yeah, it's fucking, I'm gonna say phenomenal, but only because for me, it's just another step in the dream that I've wanted to accomplish.
Ever since I kind of got my first album, I always thought albums were amazing, and here I am one day being able to, give it out to somebody else. So I hope one day, even if nobody likes our album, some fucking 14-year-old fat shit trumpet playing kid listens to it and he's like, fuck yes, I want to contribute to something like this, and he goes and tries hard and goes to contribute to something like that. That's kind of what I hope for. I don't know.
When we'd kind of finished vocals and we're listening back to the tracks in the studio, Chris was like, dude, Alchemist has to be your lead single. And I was like, fuck, I hadn't even given that much of a thought. But we were all like, yeah, okay, that sounds cool. Let's try that. And immediately I was like, holy fuck, the idea that I had for Infinity Gate lends itself so well to the Alchemist. In fact, even better than Infinity Gate. I was like, oh my God, spaghetti, he can get spaghetti, and the wizard gives him spaghetti, and it's just like, it all came together just so fucking quickly after that. I fucking just tweaked the script, sent to the guys, and they're like, yep, this is great.
All right, so Connor decided I would be the main focus in this video. As you can probably tell from listening to this interview, I'm pretty fucked when I speak for too long. Like, it was, as much as I'm used to being the quiet dude who doesn't mind just chilling out, it was fun to be the main focus and kind of, put in as much effort as the other boys have in the other film clips. They've had to do their fair share and act and work hard. So it was cool to be able to do that, feel like I was contributing a bit more.
That was a fun day. It was just, it was a fun couple, 2 days really.
Rolling and action.
Sorry.
I don't know, the music video came around the corner and it accidentally crossed over on one of the dates where I was gonna be doing something with great people who ended up being in the music video.
We had Hannah and Gus and Tara, shouts the fuck out. You guys are legends. Come along, and that was really fucking cool as well.
Screaming and running!
Is like a full-on day of recording. That was fucking 9 or 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. or whatever it was.
Okay, so...
I'm gonna need a share after this one.
Alright, let's do that again. Go.
Alright, cool.
So grab your one hand.
But it was just continuously fun throughout, whether we were on camera or not. Just the people there, what we were doing, the ridiculously awesome armor that I got to wear.
Had my friend Kerry from Astro Kerry Cosplay make the spaghetti armor that Rodney wears. I told my friends who were also LARPers that I was doing that to some quite expensive LARP equipment, and they were like, dude, you're fucking crazy. But the whole time me and Kerry were sitting there creating little spaghetti strings, we're just fucking giggling this is so good. So I don't know, that was kind of worth it.
Tony, just shouting out to Tony here, making a fake heart, and she sent me a photo just being like, would Mackie eat this? I was just like, he wouldn't swallow it, that's for sure.
Fuck yes!
We were originally actually going to get Calvo from Cryptic Abyss to play the wizard because he does an amazing Scottish accent and he's got bagpipes. So initially the joke at the start was he was playing bagpipes really badly.
Guy killed it. Guy is my new favorite that we need in all our videos from now on. You would see him as soon as, while the camera was away, he had the mic, the boom, and he was super professional. He knew, he was checking in, making sure he had the right levels, things like that. And then he got in character, and it was just clockwork. It ticked over. It was time to be the wizard, and he was just perfect.
So you'll be like, ha ha ha, and we're like,
want the old man?
yes, yes.
Would you want the old man?
No, I want the first old man.
Or do you want the old man?
I like that, yeah. You shan't escape that easily, Rodney, that kind of thing.
Escape that easily, motherfucker. Father, son, moment,
Steady.
I'll teach him how to drive.
So if it wasn't for Guy, who was extremely fucking nice and helpful and soothed me from going in a fucking hulking rage trying to put these contacts in, because I don't have glasses, I don't wear contacts, so why the fuck am I going to put contacts in? But Connor decided to have these red contacts to make me look more evil, which to be fair looked sick once they were in. But we were trying to put them in, the fucking wind was blowing off my finger.
One of the most memorable parts is while we're filming just band stuff, up the hill, all of the LARP people had bows and arrows, and they were firing them at Guy because Guy just for some reason has no pain receptors, and he was just taking welts to the body. And like, we walk up and all we just see is these giant bright red dots from all those LARP arrows that have just been slapping against him. And everyone was, not one person was like, is this okay? Is he okay? Is this okay? Everyone was just like, yeah, I'll shoot him, this is fine.
The day we were shooting the Darwin Parkland stuff was actually Anthony's birthday, and they were having a house party there. So I was like, oh, rather than having to play outdoors or whatever for the performance footage and making that work, let's set the performance footage at a house party and get some shots at this actual house party.
Seeing my housemate's face when I showed him the music video. There's like one scene where we're at that birthday party, like cheersing or whatever, and he just like kind of lost his mind and like threw his hands down. He's like, "Are you serious? You were filming then too? Like, what the fuck?"
And then a couple of days later, we shot the performance stuff.
We just got a bunch of people to come into Anthony's dungeon and just rock out to the song for 2 hours on repeat.
I'm doing the whole song like this from now on.
We had food, drinks, we had a lot of pasito. Kirks, if you're watching this, please answer my messages. I've been trying for weeks now and you're not replying. Respond, please.
Fucking Luke. Oh my God. Luke was just going hard on the pasito. Like, he literally poured it down his fucking face. He looked so sticky and disgusting. I love Luke. Luke, I love you, but you are just a fucking rat bag sometimes. It's amazing.
What'd you do on your Tuesday night? Oh, I filmed the fucking music video in the garage with like 50 people. Like, it was so much fun.
That was one of the most genuinely moving experiences of my life.
Getting to talk to people who really wanted to be involved, kind of thing, and like getting to know some people more was really fucking cool.
Casino!
2 guys at our last show added them on Facebook because they said they'd seen us a few times but had only now worked up the courage to talk to us, which was really flattering. And so when Connor was like, all right, we're going to film this in your basement on these dates, start inviting some people, kind of thing. They were the first people I thought of. I was like, I want to give these fucking guys a chance to meet, the rest of the band and be in something, just because, I don't know, they really fucking were there and they genuinely cared for that sort of shit. So
everyone who was there was just like really digging on the song.
So what do you think of the new Triple Kill song?
I think it's fucking sick, mate!
While we were recording, we were lucky enough to be booked for the first iteration of a new kind of heavy metal nightclub in Melbourne called Forge, run by Bailey from Overdrive, who is a fucking gun. Well done, Bailey.
Getting an opportunity to play at Max Watts the whole time leading up to the gig, I'm just like, I really fucking hope people show up to this gig, because it was Overdrive Mag's like first year anniversary kind of thing, and they were really fucking hammering this show. Like in terms of promotion, they were like, we want all these people there, and
I could not wait. I kept counting down the days, just thinking, fuck, can we get there? Because I had heaps of people coming. I knew it was going to be a massive night.
Playing at Max Watts, I've watched so many bands that I looked up to that have been on that stage.
Expectation, I guess, of like, more the expectation that I'd put on myself of just, this is going to be a big fucking night. I need to put my all into this, make sure everyone's having a damn good time, some party vibes throughout the whole place.
somebody, Sam jokingly said to us, you should get confetti cannons. And we jokingly said to Sam, be careful what you wish for, Sam. And then Bailey said, triple kill, if you don't get confetti cannons, you're not getting paid.
We got fucking confetti cannons going on. I had a bloody hat.
But the venue were like, if you use those confetti cannons, you're gonna cop a pretty big fine, like maybe $300.
Mackie's reasoning for why we should use the confetti cannons was probably holds up the strongest. He just said Pantera would do it.
We got access to using the LED screen in the background.
Okay, we've got a 40-minute set. I'm gonna make a collage that runs for 45 minutes, and at the 30-minute mark, Rodney comes out on a green screen dancing, and we'll all be all like, what the fuck, Rodney?
During Wall of Flesh, the crowd sits down, and it's this really cool, like the Slipknot style of jumping around and stuff like that. I decided to go and join the crowd, being I was wireless. And I've gone down, I've crouched down, I'm just sitting there with everyone else. And then as soon as we all jump up, the bolt that connects my strap just broke off. And I lost the strap to my bass. And so I've got Morgan from Valhalla, who's just quick to act, and he's grabbed a hold and he's helped me get back to the stage where I finished the song where I'm using my knee to hold up the bass so I can play. And I've just, song finished, and I've just bolted down into the backstage, and I've just started screaming, just duct tape is still there. And so we just taped the strap on, and it stayed so I could play the rest of the show. I still haven't taken the tape off yet, and it's pretty sturdy, I'm not gonna lie.
During Swarm or after Swarm, that's when when Rodney coming on screen dancing would happen. We finished Swarm and Cigarro, the next song that we played a system cover, and he still hadn't come up on screen. So I was like, fuck, I hope the video didn't loop or like something didn't go wrong. Anthony kind of walks over to me, I'm on the kit, kind of walks over and gives me a look like, we doing this? And I'm just like, we're doing this, blades, let's do it. So we counted in, start playing, having a good time, everyone's enjoying the song. And it gets to the solo section. Rodney's like, let it rip! Mackie starts shredding, and I hear this like, oh, fuck! Mackie's a shit-hot guitarist, but the blade solo's never gotten that kind of response. I turn around and there's this giant fucking Rodney like dancing on the screen. He splits into three and there's three of them dancing around. And I'm just like, yes!
I knew it was coming, but I was still surprised by it. Everyone else was just talking about just being like, did you know that was happening? And I was just, for the most part, just answering no.
So this is the first launch and also overdrive's birthday. I see some willing volunteers right over there on the side of the stage. That's a wild fucking coincidence, don't you think? No! No! Super happy.
Look, it's coming out.
and we used the confetti cannons and we got fined. But because of that, there's this fucking footage of us playing like Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley, but in our own metal version.
Just looking out and basically being blinded by people's smiles and how happy they were to be fucking rickrolled by us dickheads was fantastic. While confetti rained down upon them.
Like since I was a kid, I've wanted to make people laugh. And since getting into heavy metal, I've wanted to make people headbang. And we got to do both at the same time for this show. Like, it was a dream. It was a fucking dream show.
Even still now, like a month, 2 months later, I'm still just like, that was such a fantastic show that I'm glad I got to play, glad like everyone had such a good time, heard nothing but positive feedback from it.
Loki from Hybrid Nightmares, Frosty from Espionage, Shelvo from Espionage, just a whole bunch of like people who I've really like come to admire for their hard work in the Melbourne music scene came up to me and genuinely could not say a bad thing about us.
From it afterwards or a few days later were insanely positive, and I think we showed people that we want to be in this scene for a long time to come.
And it felt like a really, I don't know, really fitting end to that part of our journey.
We've always got like those 2 or 3 things that we always say, like always put in like 100%, out-promote the promoter, like always try our fucking best, like never stop the ball from rolling kind of thing.
Just to create and play music with the 5 dudes that I consider my brothers, and just fucking love every minute of it.
When I'm on stage, I'm just trying to I want to get up there and just make people have fun and laugh. I'll just dance and do stupid shit so that people will be like, nice, bro. And as long as they're having a good time and we're having a good time with them, that's enough for me. That's all I want.
During practice, we'd be talking about our hopes and our dreams and stuff for this band. And one of the goals that we kind of set for ourselves was that every show would be an event in and of itself that's worth attending. It wouldn't just, you couldn't justifiably say, I saw Triple Kill a month ago, I'll see him next time.
My dream as a band has always been, I want to go to Japan.
But just going to any other country would be fantastic. Show our music to another part of the world, different cultures and shit. See their take on it, and just their response to it would be fantastic. Go to fucking, I don't know. We should probably in the fucking Zorb Ball. That'd be cool. Yeah, you're getting so. Comes up this giant inflatable balls, got holes in it. You roll down the hill and you're like, fuck!
What the fuck? Next year, I don't know what is going to happen with Triple Kill. I know that we're still going to be a band, but as for what we've got coming, I don't know.
Just being a part of that whole massive fucking Melbourne metal scene is one of the best things I've ever been a part of. It's just fantastic, the amount of people that are just there to have such a good fucking time. Bye-bye!
These people have just welcomed us so fast.
I've always wanted to feel like a regular punter somewhere, but now I do.
I feel for the first time in a long time that I belong somewhere. When I'm at gigs or at shows, not even if we're not playing, if I'm just going to watch another band, we're welcome with open arms.
I had a moment after a gig at the Bendy one time. We just finished playing and it was such a great set and we had such a great night and everyone was having an awesome time. I was just standing by the merch desk with Anthony and Ethan. I was just kind of smiling, and they looked at me and they're like, "Are you all right?" And I was like, "Sorry, I just realized that I'm in the band that I've always wanted to be in." Like, I think I've always, whenever I listen to my favorite songs and stuff, and you imagine yourself on stage doing the same thing, there's always like a dream band, or like there's this lineup or something, this band that you feel like you should be in, and that's where you'd be doing that sort of stuff with those dudes. And I think Triple Kill's it.
All the people that are watching this now, you're looking at my face and shit. Thank you, friends and punters and just people who just happen to be watching this for whatever reason, fucking off uTorrent.
Thank you to anybody who just says, this is good. Like, just anyone who just takes the time of their day to find something about somebody as well, just in general in their everyday lives, and tell them that something's good.
God, thank you for getting this album. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you show it to your loved ones and show it to the people you hate and be like, I hate you, but listen to this, it's pretty cool.
Spending some of your sweet fucking time on this planet watching a fucking DVD about us schmucks, it means the world, so thank you.
You're all a bunch of mad cunts, and when you see me at a gig, come give me a cuddle, because I'm not going to eat ya.
Thanks for being mates. Triple Kill. The puzzle's still not finished. Fuck.
Actually, you know what? The philosophy of tripling yourself is something that we've got to push on this DVD now.
Do you really want to explain that?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So give me a sec to make sure you're in focus here, because you're about to drop some fucking bomb truth on these honkies.
All right, honkies.
Go.
If you're shitting and vomiting, pull out your dick. Use your fingers. I don't know what you do. Make yourself come, because you're taking control of a shitty fucking situation and you are getting the best out of it. Vomit. Come. Shit. All at once. Triple yourself. And tell people as well. Especially tell people. Especially me. Because I'll know that you're a hero. You've taken control of the shittiest situation that you could probably find yourself in, and you've come out a master of your own fate.
And that's what you've been wearing on t-shirts for a year and a half.